One of the most common things that I hear when I talk to somebody who has an IRS problem is they say, well, it's the penalties and the interest that are killing me. I'd rather pay just the tax and not the penalties and interest. So in this video, I thought I'd discuss what are the ways that you can actually abate penalties, abate the fancy legal word for eliminate eliminate penalties. So the very first one is the simplest one. It's called first time penalty abatement. And it's basically automatic. If you have not paid a single penny in penalties for the prior 3 years, prior to the year in question, then you are entitled to first time penalty relief, first time penalty abatement. And the way that you can approach that and request that, there's actually two ways. One way is to call the IRS and just simply ask them if you're eligible for first time penalty abatement. And sometimes, after the tap, tap, tap and the hours waiting on hold and whatnot, they'll go ahead and grant it right there on the phone. There's got to be some sort of dollar limit because it's not always granted, even when it's appropriate. So the other way to do it is you have to do it in writing, and we typically use a Form 843, which is called a claim for refund. In that, we simply ask for first-time penalty abatement. We send it into the address in the instructions, and then we wait. We wait, and we wait. Oftentimes, it takes somewhere between 3 and 9 months before we hear back, but we almost always win, though. I can't think of a time when we have not won a first-time penalty abatement when it was appropriate. And the highest one that I can remember ever doing on the telephone was about $45,000. I simply called, I asked for it, they granted it, and it was done right there on the phone, and it was pretty spectacular. The second type of penalty abatement is called reasonable cause penalty abatement. In a reasonable cause penalty abatement, it's what it sounds like. You need a darn good reason that you didn't exercise what's called ordinary business care and prudence and pay your taxes on time or file your taxes on time. And it's kind of a tough hurdle. I typically say it has to be in writing, and the penalty abatement request, my sort of test for that is the letter needs to make you cry. In other words, there's got to be a really good reason. Somebody, death, illness, hospitalization, sometimes addiction can cover it. One of the most challenging situations is when you have many years where you haven't filed and paid. You have 7 years, 10 years, 15 years. That can be a problem because the IRS typically will say, okay, well, we understand that these bad things happen to you, but after a year or two, you probably should have gotten your act together and taken care of it. I would also say the more documentary evidence that you provide in your penalty abatement request, the better. And we've had really good success over the years in providing detailed doctor's records, for example, documenting the fact that there was a reasonable cause for the penalty abatement. I hope this video helps. If you want more information about this or any other type of IRS issue, we invite you to visit our website at getirshelp.com.